Hi, today I'd like to share something new and interesting. This is not a finished pattern at all. I'm just starting the testing phase of it. And basically, this is something inspired by Gunnar Bremer, who ties some fantastic and very innovative flies. So, this is all about making a weedless presentation. In this case, I'm using these owner, I think they're called sled hooks or something like that. Owner sleds, they got a cutting point on them. And the idea is that going to be using a wire shank that I'm creating out of my single strand wire. One, to hold fly materials, because you see this area right here on the on this jig hook is very short. Not a lot of space to tie. By using a wire shank, I have a lot of space to tie. Okay, and then I'm going to use titanium wire to attach it here, but in order to attach it firmly here, I'm going to be fashioning another wire shank, well, wire eye, and putting it right at the base of this lead head. And to raise everything up so that the material truly causes this point to be weedless, I'm going to be using chenille to raise the whole thing up. Okay, on the test fly that I tied, I didn't do that, and so the materials are just a wee bit below the hook shank. So if I took this through low overhang stuff, it's possible that it could hang a little bit. I'm not feeling anything right now, and as Gunnar said, if there's a lot of material on top, it'll help a little bit, make it more weedless, but I just want to make sure. So I'm going to raise that all up with some chenille. Okay, so let's get to it. First thing I'm going to do is cut their wire for the front. That's the most difficult part. Okay, and you're going to have some wastage here, but you need that. You need that in order to be able to work with the wire. Okay, I finally got back my proper wire eye bender thing. Okay, and so basically what I'm doing, going around, you can do this with a jig, with a screw eye or something. That'll help. I prefer to use these. Regrip here, go around again. And basically what I want to do is I want to get the two legs in line with each other. So I'm going to bend this one this way, I bend that one that way, get my thumb in between. Okay, so they're basically in line, and from there I can work to bend them into the proper direction. Get the little 90-degree bends so that they'll line up in line with the hook. See, just like this. I'll hold that here so you can see. I got these two. They're in line. They'll run on either side of the hook. Okay, that's that for that. I set that aside. Now I need the shank. And this one, you notice I'm not bothering to straighten the wire, and I'll show you why. Okay, cut here. Form the end that the titanium wire is going to go through. Okay, haywire twist. 1, 2, 3, 4. See how that matches with this. A little farther. 5, 6. If your haywire twist is good, the wire will straighten out. Let me see this. Yep, as far as I want to go. Now Straighten this out. And do my barrel wraps. Grab my what is it, split ring pliers to do this. Grab closer here, a little bit more control. 1, 2. Break the wire off. Straighten this out a bit. Okay. Now, form the other end of the shank. This one will just be a proper eye, so that the what is that called? The titanium wire will have something really solid to hold on to. Okay, this is not quite straight yet. Okay, I want this perpendicular to each other. Okay, an easier way to do this, you know, is use the fly tying vise. Clamp that in the vise. Now I can make a perfect perpendicular eye. Mash that up against this to make sure I have the proper distance. I want there to, yeah. I have to make this really tight here. Okay, there we go. Grab that tight. Okay. Grab that tight. Grab my split ring pliers. Again, coming around. 1, 2, 3. Just break this sucker off. Come on. And because of the haywire twist, that piece of wire is now very hard. Okay, now I just have to make sure this is all twisted in the right direction. That's no longer perpendicular the way I wanted it. Just a little bit more. Now it doesn't have to be perfect, but I just like it, you know, the angles set up nice so that it's easier to make everything perfectly in line, the top and the bottom, the fly. Okay, there. And now from there, okay, what I'm going to do is, you see my eye in the back is a little bit downwards. It's not perfectly in line. It's a little bit downwards, so it goes into the vise a little better. This front part, this front loop, I'm going to bend it up a little bit for the titanium wire to go through. Go to the flat part of my pliers, bend that just a bit. See that slight bend right here? Okay, that allows the titanium wire to go through. Tie this in, begin my pattern. I'm going to tighten this down. Okay, and I just keep this simple, really simple. It's simple is better on this. Okay, I get more complex at the head, but with this, no need. This part, just keep it simple. You're just tying a tail section. Okay, I got all sorts of things getting tangled up here. Okay, now I gotta tie in the titanium. I'm using 6-pound titanium wire. Yeah, I think this is 6 or 12. I use this for ice fishing in the States. Okay, let me see. You need about double the length of your sled. Come back to your sled. 1, 2. Okay, it's about there. Cut it here. Okay, so what I want to do I said, I'm going through the eye here. I'm going back through this eye here. Okay. And then coming back through the front eye. So it's nice and secure. Try not to get these twisted and stuff like this. As straight and in line as possible. Okay. Pull tight. Now a gunner, he does this, he pulls it tight. I do a little extra and I just try to squeeze and crimp this stuff a little bit. Okay. It helps a bit, but there's only so much you can do with this because titanium wire does not really kink very much. Okay. Pull tight. Start the wrap. Gunner starts at the front. I don't know. I like to start at the back here. Make sure the wires don't get twisted. Okay, wrap it back. Really crank down. Oh, I broke my thread. That's not good. Okay, crank down a little bit too much. If you have streamer thread, I don't have any on me here, but if you do, that's the best for this. Okay, glue. Make sure this is not going anywhere. Okay, there. Okay, now this is not load bearing, so you don't have to be, you know, extremist about this or anything, but it's good to still have it strong so the fish doesn't pull your fly apart in the first hit. Okay, and because this we're tying in a lot of, you know, little bits, you don't have to tie this thick at all. I'm starting with just tiny little bits of extra select craft fur for the back. Okay, I want this just past the front. Okay, keep that together. Okay, another little bit on the side. You can do this on the bottoms. There's all sorts of ways you can do this depending on your vise and what you're comfortable with. Okay, I can go straight on the bottom if I want, but I'm going to choose to go off to the sides. With my vise, it's a little easier for me to go to the sides. Okay, and this other side. So I'm not taking a lot of material to do this, just a wee little bit. Okay, come over to this side, measure up my okay, weave that around. Okay, good. Get that together. And I'm just going to use a little bit of baitfish emulator for a more subtle flash. Later on, I am going to use Flashaboo, but for this part is just I want a subtle flash here. A little bit on each side. To spread that out a bit. Good. Get the other side. Spread it out. Okay. Now, get this all back here. do another group here. As you go forward, you can get thicker. It makes sense to. Up to you. Okay, next bunch. This is farther away from the vise, so I am going to go directly underneath. Even out the fronts. Some loose pieces here. Okay. Bring some material to the sides now. I'm really using thin, small amounts to tie this in. You can use a big amount and just maneuver it carefully after like 2-3 reps to, start it up. They all work. They all work. There are slight differences in swimming, probably. I'm guessing on that one. Okay, but I think it's very minor, the difference on this particular pattern, especially with the amount of lead weight in the front. Two. Okay. And before we do anything else, add the baitfish emulator. Okay. And here first. 1, 2. Spread that out nice and neat. Okay, you always want to get all your materials exactly how you want them before you really crank them in, Okay. Good. Now, flashaboo. Get this out of the way. I just want, okay, there's one piece. Yeah, I just get it around the thread, just like this. So I take my flash, I just loop it around my thread until the ends are even. Then I secure it in. That seems to be a very secure tie. Okay, take this all back. You don't have to worry about any of this hooking you. There's no hook here, which is very nice for people like me that tend to consistently get hooked. I hook myself mercilessly on some of these patterns that I have to pull the hair back. Okay, there, that's in. Now, all I have to do is whip finish. Because of the wires, I have to use the longer whip finisher. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So there's this. Okay. How did that happen? Okay, I wanna get some glue going here. Okay. take this off, and now we begin with the more difficult part. Okay. We have to secure this piece to the sled head. First things first, let's get the sled head put in. Open this up a bit. This. Okay. Start the thread going. Okay, first things first, I need to elevate everything up. So that's where chenille comes in. Chenille is great for this type of application where you need to add a little bit extra bulk or elevation. When we tie tube flies, in order to spread the materials, chenille is great. Okay, so let's see, I think I'm going to tie this all the way back here so we get everything even. Come back forward. Okay. Let's see. I think I'm going to need a little bit more. I'm going to come back one more time. And because I'm using red, the thought has occurred to me, hey, maybe this will be great for gill flash. We'll see. We'll see. I don't think it's going to be visible with the amount of thread that I'm going to be laying down, but we'll see. The thought has occurred. Okay. Now that's there. Let's get... there it is. I have to get this down here. Okay, start this back. Tie this down. And you can already see, because of the way I tied and made this wire, get this straightened out here. This wire is going to lift itself off from the rest of the bait already. Let me flip this around. That'll be easier to work with. Okay. Tie this down. Okay. Cut off the excess here. Okay. It's going to be a little loose for now, but when I lash everything down securely, it'll be much better. Okay. Now, on this, we're going to do one side of titanium on each side. Come on. Go through. There we go. You can see this is riding up like this. Okay, let's find this bitter end. Okay, I want it in line with the hook. There. Just a little farther. There. I find it works better to lash this down first. You can see, because of the chenille, now this is almost exactly in line. Okay. Now, I'm going to get one side of titanium down first. Second side. Okay, now I'm going to cut off the excess. Okay, like I said, this is not load bearing. Okay, now I'm going to tie the whole thing with the loops and everything down. Yeah. So you can see the way this is, okay, that wire is in line with the hook. So this is technically weedless. I don't have my tops on yet, but just like this, I can't feel the hook. Put a little pressure, there's the hook. Okay. So, ingenious, Mr. Brenner. Thank you. Now, we have to cover up this connection. Okay. Okay, because we have to cover it, we're going to reverse tie here. Make sure we get completely over this whole part. Okay, reverse, get that in. Spread it out. Just get a few of these, really cover this up. I don't want the fish to see any of this. One, two. Get this all the way to the bottom. Okay, and here, another thicker piece, thicker amount. Okay, get this right here. One, two. Arrange it out. Okay, I'm going to need one more bit on the bottom here. Okay, force this in around that bend to work with the thumb. There we go. Okay. Wait. Did not want the threads to slip down like that. That's not good. Now I have issues. Okay, there we go. I have to keep this coming forward, not backwards. Okay, take this all back. Oh, before I do that, yeah, take this all back. Secure this down. Before you tell me, hey, you forgot to tie in your baitfish emulator. Not yet. I'm doing another round. This one is straight up. There's no hook eye to crowd here, so I can get away with trying to force a lot of materials into the front. Okay, here, up in line with the front. Spread this out. Let's get the sides here. Might even go straight to the bottom first. And I'll go straight to the bottom first. Yeah, turned out pretty well. We come out to the sides. Come on. Be nice, be nice. Everything's starting to trap itself down there into the crevice, which is good. Other side. Yeah, right here. Okay, spread this around. Bring all this back. Build up the thread here. Okay, now just a little bit uneven there, but that's okay still. Okay, get my baitfish emulator in, and my flash. Here. Come on. Come back. There we go. That's getting crimped in there very nicely. So I only need one wrap now. It's good. Pretty easy pattern tie. It just takes a little while. It takes a little while because there are a lot of steps, but it's easy pattern. Okay, get that all laid out back. Bring the thread back some. Okay, my flash. Lateral line effect, if you will. Split around thread. Tie that in. One more piece. Split around the thread. Tie that in. I'm going to add dubbing to the front, the head. Where'd my, there it is. Okay, ice dub UV pearl. Go to the front, exactly split it down the middle. 1, 2, even it out a bit. Okay, go to the bottom, do the same thing. One, two, spread it out a little bit. Okay, I'm going to stack this all back. Before I finish, I'm going to take a little bit of the hot pink, just a very small bit. This is just to accent the cheeks. Okay. Okay, get that side. I like the look of having a little bit of cheek accent. I really do. There we go. Okay, one more. There. Let's take all this back. And I'm going to do one more stack of dubbing. Take this back a little bit more. I found that this stacking the dubbing like this, it really does move a lot of water, and that's great for, you know, that whole footprint idea, you know, the underwater footprint. Okay, bring this all back. There goes the mosque. Oh, please sing well, please sing well. Yeah, this guy is good. This guy's okay. Okay, let's finish this off. I can use the smaller whip finisher for this. One, two, 3, 4. You see that lead weight really keeps everything back, so even when you crowd the front a little bit, it's still okay. Okay, let me cut this off. Okay, add glue. You gotta have glue because those fish teeth, oh, they do horrible things to your inventions. Okay, there. That's it. This is a completely weedless thing. All that material, it prevents the hook from finding things to snag on. Okay, if you want, I mean, I do have minnow back here, this material to go over the top, like I did on this one. Okay, but it's really not necessary. Yeah, so I hope this has been helpful to all of you for a new idea to try, and we'll see. I'm still in the testing process on this. This is not a finished idea yet, so when I do finish, I'll post more about it. Cheers.